Friends, a few years ago in my induction address to the community, I shared a story that Rabbi Eli Krimsky himself experienced when, in the last days of the USSR, the Iron Curtain, he went to visit the various Jewish communities there, most of them in hiding, in order to give some chizuk, to give some strength. He went to Riga, he went to Moscow, he went to St. Petersburg, and he also went to Kiev. And in Kiev, he met with his contact, he met with Dmitry. And Dmitry invited him to meet some of the refuseniks, some of the Jewish people who were spending their time beneath the radar of the USSR, learning Torah, learning how to read Hebrew, and connecting with their soul to Yiddishkeit, to Judaism. Rabbi Eli sat in on Dmitry's class. Dressed in jeans and a tank top, he spoke to around 10 or so gathered young men and women, and he began to teach them the Aleph Bet. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daled, Hey, Vav, Zayin, and Chet. 47 minutes going back and forth with a blackboard, a piece of chalk, until they had mastered those 8 letters of our holy Jewish Hebrew alphabet. Then the class was concluded, and they adjourned for some schnapps, for some drinks, a bit of a l'chaim, a bit of a snack. When the young men and women had left the session and the refreshments had concluded, Rabbi Eli turned to Dmitry and he said to him, "You know, Dmitry, I was so inspired by the class you gave, but I have one question to ask of you. Dmitry, why 47 minutes? And why conclude only at the letter Chet? Why not go on further, teach more, have them learn more? I could see they were thirsty." Dmitry looked at Rabbi Eli and he said to him, "Rabbi Eli, the reason why I stopped at Chet, at the 8th letter, is because I myself have just returned from Moscow, where the rabbi there had taught me Aleph Bet, and he had only reached the 8th letter. Rabbi, all that I know of the alphabet, all I know of the Aleph Bet, is but 8 letters, and therefore that's all that I can teach. I gave what I could, I shared what I had, and I could do no more." And that, my friends, during those early days in the community, was my communication to our beautiful membership. I said, as I stand here before you as the new rabbi, I can promise you one thing. I will give you what I have. I will give you all of my soul, all that I can share. I can do no more than give all that I have, but that much I promise you. Friends, Shul is in my blood. I grew up in a community watching my grandfather lead a community very similar to Bushy. I cherished that shul. I cherished the building, and I cherished the individuals who walked in and out of there, praying, gathering, and being together throughout the year. However, more than loving a building, it's the people within that I adore. And as you have seen from the messages, as you have already read on the email, the heavy and difficult and saddened step of having to give all that we can, but not more, and closing our services, the mainstay, the bedrock of everything that we know about Shul, that has come as such a heavy blow, so difficult and so hard. What a sacrifice for our Shul, just like Shuls across the Jewish world. But my love of synagogue, which was embedded in me from a young age, was always more than just what can happen in the physical space of the walls of a shul. And although I can no longer give the opportunity in person for us to come face to face in prayer and learning and support in the ways that we could have before, just days before, and certainly before that, what I can continue to promise is that myself, along with Rebbetzin Jacqueline, and our fantastic assistant Rabbi and Rebbetzin, Rabbi Nick and Shira, side by side with our fabulous executive, council of management, and so many volunteers and staff, what we can promise is that we will be there with you, if not always physically, then certainly virtually. And that is the reason why Jacqueline and I have taken the great step to postpone our sabbatical during these trying months, to make sure that we can do our part to give everything and to continue to give everything that we have for all of you, for our dear community. We ask of you to please first understand that these steps were not taken lightly, but also equally to understand that we want to maintain and to even build stronger our connections and links. Please tap into our emerging virtual community that you will be able to contact and to reach and to connect to through Facebook, emails, WhatsApps, and a variety of other mediums as well. But pick up the phone too. Call us. Speak to us. We want to be there for you. We want you all to know that you are very much with us in the Bushy community. We love all of you, and we are concerned for all of you. But we know that together we will be able to emerge from this, each of us giving our all, whatever we can, to help the other, and that please God, when we turn the corner onto the other side, we will have the greatest simchas yom tov, the greatest celebration and joy as we re-enter back into the shul and toast l'chaim for us as a shul, as a community, having gone from strength to strength in this difficult period, but growing ever closer together in faith, in love, in togetherness, and in support. Thank you so much for being part and partners with us in this time, and we pray for a Yeshua, for a salvation to come speedily in our days, and may God hear all of our prayers, Latova, for good, and end the machala, and the sickness and disease and suffering from our people and from all of the world as well. Amen.